What's the average cost to insulate certain areas of your existing home? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Foam University. Today we're going to be talking about the pricing factors that go into insulating your existing home. Before we get into this too deep, please, I need you to hit that thumbs up button for us. Thanks. So the first factor I want to talk about is square footage. Of course, the square footage of the treated surface is going to be a key factor, as that is what the price is mostly based on. Another big factor is what type of foam is being used. Now, in an existing home, we can use all types of foam, both open and closed cell spray foam, as well as injection foam when we're talking about insulating the entire existing house. So keep that in mind. Square footage is going to be key, and of course, what type of foam used is going to come into play as well. So let's start at the top with the attic. So if we're looking at using spray foam to insulate the attic space, we have a major question. Are we going to insulate the flat or floor of the attic, or are we going to put spray foam on the roof deck or the underside of the roof to insulate that space? Generally speaking, we recommend doing the underside of the roof itself, but there are some times when doing the flat is better. Keep in mind there's pros and cons to both. Of course, when you're doing the roof deck, your square footage will go up a little bit, so the cost may go up a little bit as well. When you're doing the flat, you will have to put in baffles and make sure venting is properly in place. You may also have to use some light caps if the house has recessed lighting, so keep that in mind. Now, when we're talking about insulating your attic, again, we have a lot of different ways to go. But generally speaking, a price range to insulate that space will fall between $5,000 and $10,000 to insulate that attic area. Now, of course, this does include removing any existing insulation that's already in there and then getting it ready to have that spray foam put in place. So now let's take a look at those exterior walls. Now, whatever's on the outside wall, whether that's siding like aluminum or vinyl, or if it's something like brick or even something like stucco, it could be wood as well, we can pretty much work with any type of exterior. Now, of course, there will be some time changes with some. Now, brick will take a little bit longer than vinyl, for example. And of course, that may include a little bit more expensive cost just because of that time in place, different equipment's required. Wood can be something that's a little bit different as well, because if we're taking that wood off versus drilling through it, of course that's going to take a lot longer. So different things like that to consider depending on what type of exterior is on your home. Now, if you're looking at your exterior walls for a price range, you're going to fall anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 in cost on average. Now, again, that is a wide range, but we do not know what type of exterior your home could have. And as we talked about, all the different types could impact the cost differently. So now let's work our way down to the foundation. Now, whether you have a crawl space or a basement, both can be insulated with spray foam insulation. So if you're looking at your basement, you may want to do your rim joist as well as your basement walls to make sure you get that thermal protectiveness and you seal any air coming in from that rim joist. Now, if you have a crawl space, again, same situation. You're going to usually want to do the crawl space walls as well as that rim joist. That rim joist is going to be the key factor when you're looking at your foundation. But again, doing those walls can help you as well. So whether you have a basement or a crawl space, you have some options. And if you do have a crawl space, keep in mind if it's a dirt floor, you may want to put a vapor barrier down. 6mm plastic is usually recommended. So if you're looking at a cost for doing this foundation, again, basement or crawl space, they will both fall into the price range of $3,000 to $5,000 to insulate those areas. Yes, that would include whether it's a basement or a crawl space, and if you need that vapor barrier for that crawl space to be done. So we've looked at all the areas of your house. We've gone from the attic, we've moved down to the walls, and finally down to that foundation to make sure you've established that building envelope around the entire structure, and you've put something in like foam that gives you a strong thermal resistance that's going to last a lifetime of the building. We've talked about costs associated with each area, but at the end of the day, you really need to look at your house as a whole system, because just like your HVAC system, your insulation will work throughout your entire building together, like I said, as one system. So we always recommend thinking about getting your entire house done. And if you want to have that done, a price range to insulate an entire house usually will fall between $8,000 and $20,000 to again insulate the entire home, from the attic all the way down to the foundation, to get everything foamed, to establish that building envelope throughout the entire building, make sure everything is thermally protected as well as air sealed. If you want to learn more about the pricing factors for insulating your existing home, check out the link below. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel and ring that bell to see all of our notifications.